There's a pretty one, Ulysses. There it is.
Oh, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary. Pour a cheerful toast and fill it.
Hello, BookTube. I'm Shawn, the Book Maniac. Welcome back to my channel. It is my channel's 4-year anniversary today, September 9th, 2021. And I have things to tell you. I have giveaways. I have this, that, and the other thing going on to commemorate this auspicious occasion. I used to celebrate every 1,000 subscribers, and then people stopped subscribing to my channel, so I don't celebrate the 1,000 subscribers. And last year, at around the time of my anniversary, the pandemic stuff, I'm just not in the mood to celebrate, so, yeah, didn't do anything for my 3rd anniversary, but I did it up big for my 1,000 subscriber and 2,000 subscriber, and I'm going to continue celebrating the anniversaries, because, you know, nobody subscribes to my channel anymore, so we're just going to celebrate how long I've managed to survive. So thank you, everybody. I'm not big on sentimental asking people to like and subscribe. I hate all that stuff, and I'm not good at telling you how much I love you all, but you know I do, and I do. So, instead, I'm going to show my affection by lavishing you with gifts and things like that. So, this is the book giveaway video. There's 2 other videos. Please check those out, because there's other things going on. The camera flip video and the book cover fragment contest. You definitely want to check that one out this year. This, however, is the book giveaway part of my celebrations, and so I have things to tell you before I show you the books. This time I have 5 books up for grabs, and this contest, it's not a contest really, but kind of a draw. It's a book draw, really. It's open worldwide. 5 books, 5 winners. Everybody gets 1 book, nobody gets more than 1 book. However, just like years past when I've done this, you can express an interest, and in fact I encourage you to express an interest in more than 1 book if more than one of these books in fact interests you. And if you do that, if you express interest in more than 1 book, I need you to rank them. So you would say something like, my first pick would be Tom Sawyer, but my second pick would be Dante's Inferno, or whatever, okay? I'm going to do this by a random draw 1 month from today, noon, Tokyo time, October 9th. I'm going to put all of the names of everybody that enters into a random generator, and then that's how I'll pick them. So if you picked Tom Sawyer, but somebody ahead of you has claimed Tom Sawyer, then I will go to your second pick, okay? If you want all 5, put them in numbers 1 to 5. Number 1 is your first pick, and so on, so that I can figure out which one you get based on what's still available by the time I get to your name after I've randomly generated the list. Is this making sense? How do you enter? You enter by putting a comment below on the video. Obviously, if you tell me which books you're interested in, I know you're entering the contest, but I'm also expecting, based on years past, that there will be congratulatory messages from other people who have no interest in entering the contest. So please, specifically say, I would like to enter the giveaway. Okay? That way I know to put your name, your whatever name you use for your YouTube comment, into the random draw thing. Okay? This giveaway is open to my subscribers, my non-subscribers, and fellow booktubers. So it's open to everyone, and I will ship worldwide. Of the 5 books, 4 are tiny, so I will be happy to send those anywhere in the world by airmail, because it's going to be cheap. The other one, which I'll save to the last, is a chunkier book, so I will only be sending it by seamail, so that it's cheaper for me, and that will take 2 to 3 months to reach you. So don't pick that one if you can't wait that long. The other ones should get to you fairly quickly. I think I've explained everything, so now let me tell you about the books. Most of these books I acquired a year ago, so they reflect kind of my reading interests in books that were up for me a year ago at this time. The 5th one is more current, but they're all books that I feel very passionate about and want to get into your hot little hands. This one is a memoir from Saudi Arabia that I have sung the praises of many times on my channel. The Belt by Ahmed Abdeldamen, and it is translated from the French by Nadia Benabid. Ahmed Abdeldamen is, or at least was, a Saudi journalist based in Paris, and he's been there for decades. and has raised his family there. So he wrote this memoir about his childhood in French, so that his daughter, who probably doesn't speak Arabic, could read it. And it is a beautiful memoir, and it will undo so many assumptions that you might have about Saudi Arabia. It's one of the only books I think I've ever read about Saudi Arabia, set in Saudi Arabia. And there is one scene that I have described many times that I will obliquely refer to here, set in, in the boonies of Saudi Arabia. It's not set in a city. It's a small Saudi village, and it's the clash of modernity and Islam, and it's written with humor. And it is not a misogynist text at all. I don't think so. It's actually kind of interestingly and comically feminist, celebrating the women in this man's family. And there is a hilarious, powerful, social-politically explosive moment in the story to do with the boys in the days of recovery after their circumcision, and a sassy girl plays a trick on them that's just hilarious to read, and it's just this fantastically not what you would expect in anything coming from Saudi Arabia moment of narration that I will never ever forget. I love this. Next we have one of my top reads, I believe from last year. It might have even been the year before last year. Malagash by Joey Camo. Joey Camo is a queer Canadian writer. He's written, at the time of this was printed, 4 novels and a webcomic. He is based in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and this novella just ripped my heart out. It is about a teenage girl whose father, who's not a very old man, he might be in his 40s or maybe early 50s, dying. And they leave, I don't know where they lived, maybe the States, but they go back to his hometown in the Maritimes of Canada so that he can die surrounded by his parents or his mother and brother and so on. And this teenage girl is a computer nerd, and she designs a virus that she wants to go viral, a computer virus that she wants to go viral, into which she injects secretly recorded conversations she has or overhears with her father as he is on his deathbed. But he's still healthy enough to have, very comical conversations, and so just capturing all those moments. Now, that sounds like it's either going to work or it's not going to work, and I think that would vary from reader to reader, but I loved this. It was funny, it was beautifully sad, it packed a punch. I want this, I want you to have this, I want you to read it. This is a furrowed middlebrow reprint of a novel that was originally published in 1936. One of my top reads of last year, or the year before, I can't remember now. Begin Again by Ursula Orange, a British novelist who died. She committed suicide in 1955, and she was very young. She was 46. And this is a comic novel, women's fiction of the era, 1936, that was full of comic moments about young adults at that time exploring their sexuality, and just a lot about the dating game and stuff that was really entertaining, but went a bit deeper than that. And so I was entertained and also quite moved by certain things. And there is one moment of flirtatious physicality between a young man and a young woman changing places in a car, and some people say I've oversold this in the past because it's only about 3 lines of text, but it is the most erotic thing I've read in 20th century fiction. It's worth the whole book just for those 2 or 3 lines. Ursula Orange. I'm about to buddy read the last available of her novels that has been brought back into print by Furrowed Middlebrow, which, if I didn't say, is an imprint of Dean Street Press. But this is the one that I've loved the most. The one that I'm going to be buddy reading almost immediately after you see this video is Company in the Evening, 1944. But this is 1936, and this is an absolute joy to read. And this definitely was one of my top reads of, well, I'm losing track. Either last year, 2020, or the year before. I'm just not clear on my years anymore. But this is another Canadian novel or novella, The Student by Gary Fagan. This book is almost impossible to buy if you don't live in Canada. The publisher won't ship it outside Canada. It's the most ridiculous provincial thing about Canadian literature. It drives me nuts. So I went to a lot of trouble to get a copy sent to me in Japan so that I can send it to you somewhere in the world. So I'm kind of hoping this one goes to somebody who's not in Canada and can't much more easily get a copy, but no, it's open for anybody to put your name in for it. This is a novel fairly recent, 2019, and it is about a Jewish Canadian young woman in 1957 in Toronto who is a English major thinking about going on to do grad studies, but coming up against a lot of sexist boundaries that are really terrible to read about, and in a very tight-knit Jewish family that knows their fair share about anti-Semitism, and is one of the most fascinating characters in recent Canadian fiction. Kerry Fagan is a Jewish man, a Jewish male writer, and he has written a powerfully, I would say, feminist story about a woman's coming of age. And then the second part shows her, I don't know how many, I can't remember how many decades later, maybe 3 or 4 decades later, on the eve of her son's wedding. And I loved the whole thing and recommend it very highly. And Britta Bowler read it because I gave her a copy for Christmas or something, and she quite liked it too. So those are the shorter ones that I'm willing to send airmail anywhere in the world. This last one is my top read of 2021 so far, and it is heavier, so I'm happy to send it to you anywhere in the world by seamail, and that is Tara June Winch's The Yield. I am actually rereading it. I started rereading it within a week of finishing reading it. I did it originally as a buddy read with Greg of Supposedly Fun, and it is both of our top reads of the year so far. I absolutely loved it, and I don't think I need to say very much about this. Everybody's talking about it. It should have been nominated for the Women's Prize, should have been nominated for the Booker. It is one of the best books I've ever read. It's set in Australia, and it is about an indigenous family there, and with 3 storylines, all of which were incredibly powerful, and this book touched me so deeply that I am still rendered mute about it. But it is a book that you must read, and you should enter to get this copy for yourself. That is the book giveaway portion of my 4-year anniversary celebrations. So I think you know what to do. Put a comment, tell me which ones you want, and the draw will be in a month. Thanks for watching.